You think pain means stop. You think pain means back off, retreat, rest. But I'm here to tell you, pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It's your signal that you're growing. It's a signpost that says, oh, you're on the right path. Pain means you're stretching, you're evolving, you're pushing past the limits that used to define you. See, most people want the prize, but they don't want the process. They want the results, but they don't want the resistance. But here's the truth. You don't get greatness without going through something. You don't get to the top without climbing through some pain. Winners understand something losers don't. Pain is temporary. It may last for a minute, or an hour, or a day, or even a year, but eventually it will subside. If you quit, however, that lasts forever. Most people stop at the first sign of struggle. They feel discomfort and they fold. They hit adversity and they retreat. But not winners. Winners lean into the pain. They face it head on because they know on the other side of pain is purpose. On the other side of struggle is strength. On the other side of breakdown is breakthrough. You gotta stop running from it. You gotta stop trying to avoid the hard stuff. Everything you want is hiding behind that discomfort. The transformation you're after, it requires you to endure some storms. It requires you to push when everything in your body is saying stop. Your dreams are not gonna just fall into your lap. You will have to fight for them. You will have to grind when you're tired, push when you're sore, and keep showing up when no one claps for you. You gotta show yourself in the world that you want it bad enough to suffer for it. Pain is a refining fire. It burns away the weakness. It strips away the excuses. It reveals your true character. You don't even know what you're made of until life hits you. Anybody can smile when it's easy. Anybody can show up when the sun is shining. Everything feels good. But what happens when the storm comes? What happens when your plan falls apart? That's when you find out who the real ones are. That's when you find out if you're committed to your purpose or just curious. Because pain will ask you, do you really want this or were you just talking? Let me tell you something. The people who win in life, the people who rise above, they didn't escape pain. They endured it. They used it. They harnessed it. They turned their wounds into wisdom. They turned their frustration into fuel. They kept going not because it was easy, but because they knew what was waiting for them on the other side. They knew their purpose was bigger than the pain they were experiencing in the moment. You gotta think long term. You gotta stop living in the now and start living in the next. What you feel now is nothing compared to the fulfillment you'll feel when you walk in your purpose. See, you got a choice. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One lasts a little while, but the other can last a lifetime. Winners choose the pain of discipline. They choose the path that hurts now but heals later. They know the grind will make them stronger. The pressure will make them sharper. And the setbacks will make the success that much sweeter. You've got to fall in love with the process. You've got to learn to smile in the struggle. That's the mindset of a winner. Every time it hurts, I want you to remind yourself, this is temporary. This is not the end. This is not the end. This is just a moment. And this moment is shaping me. This pain is part of my becoming. This is the fire that will forge my future. You have to believe it. You have to speak it. You have to act like it. Don't let the pain lie to you. Don't let it tell you you're not good enough or that you should give up. You are capable. You are built for this, and the more you endure, the more unstoppable you become. Stop looking at pain as punishment. Start seeing it as preparation. Start seeing it as the passage to your destiny. Pain is proof that you're pushing limits. And winners, they push limits daily. They embrace the burn. They don't just survive the hard days. They dominate them. That's the secret. Not avoiding pain, but embracing it. Not running from it, but growing through it. Pain is temporary, but purpose is forever. Keep that locked in your mind, your soul, your spirit. Let it drive you. Let it carry you. Let it remind you this moment is not the end. It's the beginning of something powerful. Let's be honest. You're not always going to feel like showing up. There are going to be days when you're tired, unmotivated, frustrated, maybe even ready to quit. But that's exactly where winners separate themselves. See, winners don't rely on motivation. They rely on discipline. Motivation is emotional. It comes and goes like the wind. One day you're fired up. The next day you don't even want to get out of bed. But discipline is a decision. It's a commitment you make to yourself that no matter what, you'll keep showing up. You don't need to feel good to do what's required. You just need to be locked in on your mission. That's the difference between people who talk and people who execute. Everybody wants to win until it's time to work. Everybody wants the results until it's time to be consistent. You can be motivated for a day, a week, even a month. But if you don't have discipline, you'll fall apart the moment the feeling fades. Discipline is what carries you when your mood disappears. It's what wakes you up at 5 a.m., even when your body says sleep. It's what makes you go to the gym, work on your craft, study your playbook, grind through setback, even when there's no applause, no spotlight, no recognition. Real ones don't wait to feel inspired. They understand that action creates inspiration, not the other way around. You don't wait for the fire. You build the fire. You don't wait for the move. You create the movement. Winners build systems. They don't just have goals. They have routines that make those goals possible. They don't just dream. They discipline their life to match that dream. The world is full of talented people who never made it because they relied on their feelings. But the disciplined ones, they become unstoppable because when others stop, they keep going. Every champion you admire, every high performer, every great athlete, leader, or entrepreneur, they all master discipline. They all train themselves to do the hard thing, the boring thing, the necessary thing over and over without needing a reward in a moment. That's what you need. Not hype, not loud music, not another motivational speech. You need to discipline your habits. Get control over your schedule. Control your time. Control your decisions. Because if you don't control your habits will control your habit. Your habits will control your future. Let me ask you something. What do you do when no one's watching? That's where discipline shows up. That's where greatness is built. It's not built when the cameras are on. It's not built in the big moments. It's built in the quiet, when you choose to stay focused while everyone else is distracted. It's built in the gym when you push out one more rep. It's built in the office when you study the extra hour. It's built when you say a no to what's easy and yes to what's right. Every disciplined decision is a brick in the foundation of your future success. The disciplined life isn't glamorous, but it's powerful. It's not loud, but it's effective. You won't always get praise for it. Most people won't even notice it. But trust me, discipline is the secret weapon of the winner. It's the reason they stay in the game long after others quit. It's the reason they keep improving when others plateau. You may not be the most talented. You may not have the most resources. But if you've got discipline, you've got a competitive edge that can take you farther than most. And discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. You build it by keeping your word. You build it by doing the small things right. You build it every time you say, I don't feel like it, but I'm doing it anyway. That's how you gain control over your life. That's how you become dangerous. When you no longer need the outside world to push you. You push yourself. You become your own motivator, your own coach, your own accountability. Winners don't need to be told what to do. They already know. They don't need someone yelling in their ear. Their purpose yells louder. They move with intention, with urgency, with focus. They don't waste time waiting for motivation. They wake up and get to work because they understand that the future belongs to the discipline, the success, the rewards, the breakthroughs. They all go to the one who keeps showing up, even when it's hard, even when it's cold, even when it's lonely. So you want to win? Don't chase feelings. Build discipline. Train yourself to act whether you feel like it or not. Learn to do what needs to be done, no matter the mood, no matter the weather, no matter the situation. That's what champions do. That's what separates the winners from the wannabes. Motivation will get you started, but only discipline will keep you going. Life is going to knock you down. That's not a possibility, that's a promise. It doesn't matter how strong you are, how smart you are, how much potential you have. At some point, you're going to fall. No going to fall. You're going to get hit with something unexpected. Failure, rejection, loss, setbacks, betrayal, frustration. But the ones who win, the ones who rise, they don't stay down, They get back up. Again, and again, and again. That's the mindset of a champion. That's the difference between those who make it and those who quit. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's resilience, the will to rise. No matter how many times you fall, falling is part of the journey. Everybody fails, everybody stumbles. Everybody has moments of doubt, moments of weakness, moments when they feel like giving up. But the people who rise to greatness are the ones who refuse to let the fall define them. They don't let failure become final. They learn from it, they grow from it, they use it. Every time they fall, they rise stronger. Every setback becomes a setup for a stronger comeback. Every loss becomes a lesson. They don't see failure as the end. They see it as part of the process. It's easy to stay down. It's easy to complain, to make excuses, to blame the world. But winners don't look for excuses. They look for solutions. They take ownership. They get back in the game. They refuse to let one bad moment destroy a lifetime of work. They remember that falling down is not failure. Staying down is. Champions understand that progress is not linear. Success is not a straight line. It's messy. It's painful. It's full of ups and downs, twists and turns. But the key is to keep getting back up every single time. Some of the most successful people in the world fail more than anyone else. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before he created the light bulb. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. What made them great wasn't their wins. It was how they responded to their losses. They kept going. They believed in the mission. They didn't let want to know stop them from chasing their ye. They didn't let rejection break them. They let it refine them. That's the mindset you need, the bounce back mentality. You have to stop seeing falling as weakness. It's not weakness, it's opportunity. It's feedback, it's life testing you. The fall is where you find out who you are. Anyone can act strong when everything's going right. But what do you do when it all falls apart? What do you do when the lights go out? When the doors close? When the people leave? When your plan doesn't work out? That's when your real character is revealed. That's when your true strength is developed. Every time you get back up, you become harder to break. Every time you rise again, you gain power over fear, over doubt, over failure itself. Getting back up builds something in you that comfort never could. It builds grit. It builds patience. It builds hunger. You stop fearing failure because you know you can survive it. You stop fearing the fall because you know how to rise. You become mentally bulletproof. And when you have that kind of mindset, there's nothing you can't bounce back from. You become unstoppable, not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. So the question isn't whether you're gonna fall, it's whether you're willing to rise again. Are you willing to rise again? Now, are you willing to knock to the ground? Are you willing to keep believing when it looks like nothing is working? Are you willing to keep showing up when nobody's clapping, when nobody's watching, when nobody's validating you? That's what it takes. That's what resilience looks like. Fall 7 times, get up 8. Get knocked down 100 times, stand up 101. You gotta train your mind to respond with power, not pity. No more, oh, why me? It's time for a try me. When life hits you, you hit back. When the world says you're done, you say, oh, watch me, you weren't built to break. You were built to rise. There's power inside you that hasn't even been activated yet. And sometimes it takes a fall to bring it out. Sometimes it takes being flat on your back to realize the strength you got deep inside. The fall is part of the fire. It's part of the journey to becoming who you were born to be. So get up, dust yourself off, push forward. Your story isn't over because you stumbled. In fact, this might be the very moment that defines your future. Champions aren't crowned because they never lost. They're crowned because they never quit. They kept going. They kept believing. They kept rising. Fall 7 times, get up 8. And that's how winners are made. You have to understand something. Your why is the fuel for everything. Without it, you will quit. Without it, you will break. Without it, the pain, the pressure, the setbacks will crush you. But when your why is strong enough, it becomes your fire. It becomes your anchor in the storm. It becomes the reason you show up when you're tired, the reason you keep going when everything in your life tells you to stop. Your why is what separates winners from quitters, champions from contenders, prime contenders from those who give up halfway through. You don't rise because things are easy. You rise because your purpose is bigger than your problem. When you're clear about your why, you don't negotiate with excuses. You don't entertain distractions. You don't waste time wondering if it's worth it. You already know it is. The work becomes non-negotiable. The grind becomes sacred. The pain becomes a part of the mission. When your why is weak, you'll crumble under pressure. But when your why is strong, you'll rise under pressure. That's the difference between people who say they want it and people who are willing to suffer for it. When life hits them, they don't fold. They fight. They stand tall. Not because they're stronger, but because they remember why they started. You've got to dig deep and ask yourself, why do you do what you do? Why are you getting up every day? Why are you grinding? Why are you putting yourself through the fire? If your answer is shallow, if it's only about money or fame or attention, you'll give up when things get tough. You need something deeper, something personal, something emotional. Your why has to move you on the inside. It has to mean something. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your kids. Maybe it's your future self. Maybe it's your past trying to rewrite. Whatever it is, it needs to be real enough to wake you up and drive you past every obstacle. When the pain hits, when the motivation fades, when the progress is slow and the road is long, your why is what keeps you alive in the race. Your why reminds you that this is bigger than you. It's not about comfort, it's about calling. It's not about feeling good, it's about doing what's necessary. The stronger your why, the more resilient you become. You'll stop needing people to believe in you because your purpose will carry you when no one else does. You'll stop needing results overnight because you know the long-term mission is worth the wait. People who don't have a why get stuck in cycles. They work hard for a few weeks, then disappear for months. They talk big, then quit at the first sign of adversity. But those with a clear purpose, they are consistent, they are relentless, they are unshakable. They move like they're being chased by time, like they've got something to prove, because they do. They have something inside them that won't let them quit, that won't let them slow down, that won't let them settle for average. That's what a why does. It makes quitting not even an option. Think about a mother with a child in danger. She doesn't need to be told to act. Her why is survival. Her why is love. Her why is protection. That's the kind of intensity you need toward your dream. You gotta want it like your life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. The life you dream of living, the person you were born to be, the legacy you wanna leave, that depends on how strong your why is. You're not just doing this for fun. You're doing this to change everything. You're doing this to break generational cycles, to inspire the next person watching, to become the best version of you. When your why is strong, you stop being scared of failure. You stop being intimidated by hard work. You stop comparing yourself to others because you're locked in on your purpose. Your why gives you tunnel vision. You don't care about opinions. You care about outcomes. You don't care about comfort. You care about calling. And when the world says a no, when the doors close, when the support fades, your why whispers, keep going. That's the power of purpose. It will carry you through fire and rain, through heartbreak and loss, through every valley and every storm. But here's the thing, you have to remind yourself of your why every single day. You can't forget. You can't lose sight of it because life will try to distract you. Life will try to wear you down. That's why you need to keep your why close. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Keep it in your heart and on your wall. Let it guide your decision. Let it fuel your discipline. Let it shape your mindset. Because when you know why you're doing something, you can survive almost anyhow. When you know what's on the line, you stop playing games and start moving with urgency. Your why has to be stronger than your excuses, stronger than your fears, stronger than your laziness. You've got too much at stake to play it safe, too much on the line to stay comfortable. There's something powerful about consistency, something that most people underestimate. It's not sexy, it's not flashy. It doesn't get you attention overnight, but it's what separates the average from the great, the talkers from the doers, the ones who dream from the ones who build. Consistency is what wins long term. It's the quiet discipline of showing up every day, doing the work even when no one sees it, even when you don't feel like it, even when progress feels slow. Most people want results without consistency. They want the reward without the routine. But that's not how success works. The people who win are the ones who refuse to stop. Consistency is about making excellence a habit. It's not about doing one great thing one time. It's about doing the right thing over and over until it becomes part of who you are. Champions aren't made because they had one great performance. They're made because they're committed to showing up daily, mastering the fundamentals and stacking small wins over time. It's about the early mornings, the late nights, the unseen hours, the constant repetition. Over time, those reps turn into results, and those results turn into greatness. You can't cheat consistency. You can't hack it. You can't fake it. It exposes everyone. If you're not consistent, it will show. Your body will reveal it. Your results will reflect it. Your mindset will suffer from it. You can't just grind when you feel like it and expect to win. Winners grind every day, not because they're always motivated, but because they made a decision. They made a promise to themselves, and they don't break that promise. That's the kind of discipline consistency requires, doing it when it's boring, doing it when it's painful, doing it when no one is watching and there's no instant payoff. Consistency is the ultimate form of respect for your goals, for your potential, and for your potential, and for your future. When you're consistent, you're sending a message to yourself and the world that you're serious, that you're committed, that this isn't a hobby, it's a lifestyle. You're not chasing a quick high. You're building a long-lasting legacy, and that takes time. That takes patience. That takes doing the same hard thing repeatedly, without applause, without shortcuts, without needing someone to push you. It's the most honest form of work because no one can fake it for long. The truth is, most people quit not because they lack potential, but because they lack consistency. They start strong, but finish weak. They go hard for a week, then disappear for a month. They're all in when it's exciting, but disappear when it gets routine. But the ones who win, they stay consistent regardless of how they feel. They show up when they're tired. They train when they're sore. They study when they're bored. They write when they don't have inspiration. They grind because it's what they do, not because they feel like doing it. And that's what builds real power, routine. That becomes automatic. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't even need to have the best talent. What you need is consistency. You need to keep showing up, keep trying, keep pushing, keep learning. Geez, the compound effect of consistency is unstoppable. One day of work won't change your life, but 1 year of consistent effort, 1 year of staying locked in, that will transform everything. That's where the breakthrough lives. Not in the explosive moments, but in the small, consistent steps. Success isn't built in a day, it's built daily. Every workout you show up for, every rep you push through, every time you stick to the plan, that's a brick. And over time, those bricks stack up. Eventually, you look back and realize you built something powerful. Not because you did something massive once, but because you did something meaningful every single day. That's how winners think. They don't ask, how fast can I get there? They ask, what can I do today that moves me closer? Because they understand that consistency creates momentum. And momentum is a game changer. When you're consistent, you build confidence. You trust yourself more. You stop second guessing. You stop doubting. Why? Because you've proven to yourself over and over that you keep your word, that you don't fold under pressure, that you're capable of following through. That's the power of consistency. It doesn't just build results, it builds character. And character is what lasts when everything else fades. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop looking for inspiration to strike. Just start. Show up. Do the work, even when it's hard. Even when it's quiet, even when no one claps. Because the most dangerous person in any room is not the loudest or the strongest, or one who is consistent, the one who keeps going. The one who shows up every day with purpose, with fire, with focus.